Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about exactly what I would do if I was starting my real estate career in 2024. If you don't know me, my name's Bethany. I sell real estate to people that I meet on TikTok. I'm a TikTok realtor in the Greater Toronto area. I have a small team and I specialize in selling real estate to people who find me on social media. So my sales put me in the top 1% of Toronto realtors. And I'm going to go through exactly what to do if you are starting a career in real estate in 2024. Let's go. If I was starting my real estate career in 2024, I would do this. Number one, you want to create your brand that is unique to you outside of your brokerage. You may see some agents who attach their brand to the brokerage very, very much. They may be like Remax Sally, or Century 21 Bob, or, EXP Kayla. I would create a brand outside of that brokerage. Ultimately, clients are going to work with you because of who you are. They're not going to work with you because you work for a certain brand. Right? Clients don't really value that as much as we do as real estate professionals, the people in the industry. So you want to create your brand of who you are outside of that. And you want to have your own CRM, your own, website domain, your own Google Suite, your own, professional email address, not just at gmail.com, just like my email is bethany@king-realestate.ca. because my website is www.king-realestate.ca, right? So you want to create your own brand outside of that. And I have really, really amazing branding actually, which I got through Senta Marketing. They specialize in doing branding for real estate agents in Toronto. And I have my colors, my fonts, my brand essence, my pillars, my everything. My logo, of course, my graphics, everything. I've kind of perfected this over time. If you're just starting off now, you don't have to take it to that length, but you want to create who you are just outside of that brokerage. Another reason why is it may take you a few brokerages. You may find yourself hopping around before you really settle, before you really know exactly what you want to do and where you want to start your career. So when you have your own CRM systems, your own email address, your own, logos, graphics, colors, whatever, then you can just take that with you wherever you go. Right? So each brokerage will offer you like some sort of system, a CRM, some tech, whatever it is. But then if you get really invested in that, it might feel hard to leave. Or when you do have to leave, then you have to start all over from scratch. So that's why I say develop who you are outside of the brokerage, develop your own brand and what you stand for and kind of what you want to do, and keep that tech close to you and keep those systems close to you. So that'd be step number one. Step number two would be finding the right brokerage. So when I first started out, I went to a brokerage because I knew the broker owner. I didn't really shop around. I just kind of knew this woman, and she had a beautiful office. It was a brand new office. I was her first hire. It was an aggressive split. My first split ever that I agreed to was 60-40 for me, 40 for her. It was a boutique office as well. And I found that I did not get the training and support that I needed. I was pretty much left on my own to figure things out. And not only that, my broker owner screwed me out of my first deal. But that's a video for another day, okay? That's a video for another day. So after 6 months or so, I decided, you know what, I want to leave. This is not really working out for me. I'm not really getting the support that I need. And that's when I started shopping around. Right? And I ended up going over to, I looked at Remax, I looked at iPro, I looked at basically all of them. I interviewed with every single one in my area. And I ended up going with Century 21 Millennium, and I have been there ever since. I pretty much have been there for my whole career. I only did that short 6 months at the very beginning with that other brokerage, but then I found Century 21 Millennium and I stayed number one. The split was good, even as a new agent. It was the best split that I could see out there, right? I was on an 85-15 as a brand new agent, whereas new agents are usually on like a 70-30 or an 80-20. It was like 85-15. I was like, whoa, dollar bills. was about to make money. I was feeling like $1 million. But really the main reason was my manager, Trevor Evans. If he sees this video, he knows how I feel about him. But he personally saw something in me after we had our first meeting, and he just was on me like a dog with a bone. And he was offering support to me even before I even switched brokerages. And we kind of built that relationship up. And he just told me that he really saw something special in me. So I went over there, and he personally trained me to be the agent that I am today. And I'm so indebted to him. And he knows how I feel about him. But that's what you want to look for, is you want to look for a leadership and a management who are going to go above and beyond for you and give you the tools and the resources and the support that you need, right? And at that time, I was so desperate to be successful, and I was willing to do absolutely anything. And I wanted to be around other professionals who were also making good money. There are some agents in my office who consistently make 7 figures a year selling real estate in the greater Toronto area. And I make fun of them because they'd be wearing shorts in the wintertime. They'd be like, you would never ever guess that this person is a millionaire, but they are. So it's so funny. Anyway, so step number 2 is you want to find the right brokerage. If you are somebody who needs hands-on support, then you want a brokerage that's going to give you that. If you are somebody who takes initiative and works better independently, then you want to make sure that you're with a brokerage who's going to support you in that as well. Step number 3 is right away, download Quicken, download Quickbooks, one of those accounting softwares, and start collecting all of your expenses. Now, this is not tax advice. This is not accounting advice. Okay, believe me, I'm just a pretty girl who sells the houses and does the social media. Talk to your accountant to get the list of expenses that are eligible as write-offs, and start organizing your life from the very beginning so that when you start making money, everything is organized and your accountant can get you the most tax savings. Okay, so my story is I went from getting money back from the government every single year as a single mom, not making a lot of money. I was on childcare subsidy, and come tax time, I was like, woo, I'm gonna get some money. I used to get like $10,000. I was getting money. Okay. So one year I got $10,000. The next year I had to pay $30,000. And the shock that this was to me, I was like, what? Because I lived very frugal because for a long time I didn't have a lot of money. So when I went into that year where I was very, very successful, I wasn't spending anything. I didn't have any write-offs. I was holding on to every single penny just in my little checking account, and not incorporated, not nothing. I didn't know anything about this stuff. I didn't have any write-offs, nothing. My car was paid off. Didn't keep any gas receipts, nothing. So I had a hefty tax bill, and I wish that somebody had kind of shared this with me at that time. And I figured it out eventually. And now I'm a pro with all my write-offs, and I have everything organized beautifully. But if I were starting off in 2024, this is something that I would have done just right from the very, very beginning. Number 4, stay in your lane. Okay. Now, when you're starting off in real estate, you may feel so desperate for money, especially if you don't have any deals. You may be willing to just do every single thing. And that is bad advice. Okay. I remember I was doing commercial leases. I was doing land. I was trying to sell land, basically anything under the sun at the very beginning. I was doing, and although it was a good learning experience to go through these things, I think I could have saved a lot of time and effort if I just kind of stayed in what I really wanted to do, which was the residential. Because for me to do a commercial lease, that task would take me, a week, 2 weeks to do, just to figure out the paperwork. And then the payoff was so minimal, whereas I could have used that time to focus on the things that really mattered to me, to focus on my residential deals, to focus on growing my social media, to spend more time with my kids at that time. So, you don't want to niche down too specifically, but you want to stay in your lane, have some sort of idea, a specialty that you want to get into. If you're new to real estate and if you don't own any property, this is an exercise that I have all of my team members do. And I tell them, what is your dream first property? Your first one, okay? Not the dream $10 million one, but just the dream first one, okay? Whether that's a condo or a townhouse or like a little bungalow. Figure out what would be the ideal property for you that would make you happy. Then you have that. Now figure out how to buy that and figure out how much that costs and figure out how much of a mortgage you need to have and figure out what your income needs to be in order to have that mortgage, okay? And when you go through that process, you are going to learn so much. You're going to learn so much. This is exactly what I did because I was dead set that I was going to buy a house when I went into real estate. And I did. Exactly 2 years from when I got my license. Because when you're self-employed, you need 2 years. I got my license in November 2018. By November 2020, accepted offer. We were just waiting to close. So if you are new to real estate and you don't own property, start daydreaming about the kind of property that you personally would love and then become an expert at that. And another reason for that is it's kind of like a manifestation law of attraction tool, right? It's going to get you one step closer to that. And down to the details. So if you want a townhouse in Forest Hill, you need to be understanding all of those townhouses there. What is the average price? What are the differences with them? And then take it a step further and start viewing them. This is all market research. Go to the property. Why is this one $1 million and this one's $1.4 million, right? What does a lot of 25 feet look like versus a lot of 35 feet, right? How come the wider lots are more expensive? Well, it's because you can put laneway houses, but you need a setback. All of these things, right? So you learn more by doing, not just by sitting at home and reading. Another reason for that is because when you do get that client, you need to be prepared. When you do get that dream client that's like, hey, I want to buy that 1.5 house in Forest Hill, is that the time that you're going to start fumbling and trying to figure things out? Or if the week before you already walked that area, you know everything about it, you know how much those houses are, you know what deals you can get for your clients, when you get that call, you will be ready to go. So that's a practice that I have all of my new team members do when they come to work for me. And it's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be a daunting thing. And they usually enjoy it. And then they come back and show me and say, I found this condo, this penthouse condo that I really, really love. And I could see myself living there. And the maintenance fees are this. And, the corner units are going for that much, but I don't need a corner unit. I could do this one. And there's been some deals lately. And there's a lot more inventory. So I think I could negotiate the price down. And if it was this price, then I would only need this much mortgage. And I could go on title and my dad could go on title and then we would be able to qualify. See, that's how you learn how to do real estate right there. So stay in your lane, find your ideal house and make a plan for that and become an expert at that, okay? Number 5 is start with social media. Now I get it, social media is not for everybody, so this is optional. Maybe you decide that you want to have a different lead gen strategy, but I love social media because it's free. And when I started off as an agent, I was not making any money. So I didn't have money to invest in like these fancy lead generation things and Facebook ads and Google ads and, print advertising, which is very expensive. I didn't have money to do that. So I went on social. It was free to do. I started with my phone and it's an excellent way to just meet people and connect with people and to have fun. I do think that we are moving to a digital age. So I do think that it's going to be inevitable that you're going to have to incorporate some sort of amount of social media with your business. There's ways that you can do it without being front and center like me, or you could do a podcast or, anything. Whatever is going to make you happy and is going to be something that you enjoy doing ultimately. But start with something that's free. That's the point of that. Number 6 is set goals based on productivity and not sales targets, at least not right away, okay? So running a business, being an entrepreneur, you have to have a high level of self-discipline, right? And in the very beginning of running a business, you may not see sales for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, but that doesn't mean that you should be discouraged. It doesn't mean that you're not trying or that you're not doing a good job. This is just part of it. And that's not unique to just starting real estate. That's like in any business. A lot of businesses don't make a lot of money when they first start. So when you first start, set your goals based on productivity. Set your goals based on when are you waking up in the morning? When are you going to bed? What are the tasks that you're filling your days with? How many people are you meeting? How many people are you talking to? How many houses are you going to? How many books are you reading? How many, seminars are you hosting? If you're creating a podcast, how many episodes have you made? How many guests are you having on there? How many social media posts have you done? Set goals based on productivity, not sales. Because once you start working that muscle and you start getting up every single day and just chipping away at it, right? I always say this thing, and everybody in my team, they don't think it's very profound, but I like it. And it's, how do you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. That's it. One bite. That's what I tell myself when I'm getting overwhelmed or I have a lot of work. Just one bite at a time. That's it. I guess you could say baby steps. Whatever. I like it. But every time I say that to my team, they're like, that's stupid. Whatever. I like it. Number 7 is learn from others. So as you are choosing your brokerage, and one of the reasons why I went to the brokerage that I am with was that there were top performers there. None of them were anything like me, really, and still to this day, I stick out like a sore thumb sometimes around some of my colleagues, but they are so intelligent. They're successful business people. They're kind. We share ideas all the time. So even though we don't have anything in common, I value the connections that I make in my office, obviously. And I've learned so much from my colleagues over the years. I've never discounted anybody because they do something different than what I do. Matter of fact, I look at what they do and I want to try a little bit of this and I want to try a little bit of that. And I think that's really, really important that you're in a brokerage where there are top performers, where I've heard of other brokerages and some of the agents are not really performing, especially in the smaller ones. And then there's no healthy competition. Then nobody is striving for excellence because the bar is set so low. You want to be in a brokerage where there are agents who are making millions of dollars every single year selling real estate. And you want to be able to watch what they're doing. And you want to be with people who are willing to share that with you as well. I know sometimes in real estate, people like to keep it really, really close to themselves because they're intimidated. As much as we are colleagues, we are our competitors, right? So sometimes people hold that stuff really, really near and dear to their hearts. I mean, I like to share, but you want to be around people who are top performers and who are going to share this information with you. So take that into consideration when you are looking for a brokerage. And even after you find a brokerage, you want to think about the people who you're surrounding yourself with. You are the sum of the 5 people that you talk to. So who are those people? Are they high performers? Are they in line with the person that you want to be? When you share your ideas and your dreams with them, do they support them? Or do they make fun of them? These are the things that you have to think about, especially when it comes to your romantic partner as well. The last thing, number 8, and I really, really like this one, it is lead with intellect, okay? Not flex culture. I can't tell you how many times I see on TikTok where it's like somebody rolling up in slow motion in the Lamborghini and there's like rap music playing and they're throwing fake money around and they're like, I'm a millionaire in real estate. Don't do that. Don't do that. Our market here in the Greater Toronto area is not that market. We live in a housing crisis where people cannot afford to have shelter, right? And $1 million home is not the same as $1 million home that you would see in the States. The $1 million homes here are sometimes over 100 years old. They may need some work. They may have leaks. They may have mold. There may be, somebody may have died in that home. And you need to approach real estate with such a deep level of respect because you're handling people's investments, their net worth, but also their homes. And it's very, very personal. It's a very personal experience. And the agents who don't understand that do not make money. When you are not respectful to somebody's home, to somebody's life, to somebody's money, and you're using it as a way to flex on the gram, first of all, it makes the entire industry look bad. But the agents who I see do that, they do not get clients, right? You must have profound levels of empathy and compassion. You have no idea the kind of homes that you'll be going into. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be the beautiful mansions. You may come across a seller who is, selling because they're going through a divorce and he's losing his entire family. Now is not the time to be celebrating that you have this listing. Or maybe their parents have passed away and they're selling it off the estate. A couple of years ago, there was a property on Six Buzz that sold for a lot of money. And it was a hoarder house. And there was all of this buzz online about, oh, look at this house. It's such a dump. And look at how much it's sold for. And I just found that extremely disrespectful and humiliating to the sellers, because I've been in a real hoarder house. I've stepped foot in a real hoarder house before where somebody had passed away and they weren't found for several weeks. And when you're experiencing that firsthand, it is not funny. It's actually really, really sad, and you can feel it. You can really feel it. So when you go into this industry and you go into this profession, my advice to you, as somebody who has found success in social media, in growing their business through social media, I've been able to grow my following, and I've also been able to grow my business and my bank account. My advice to you is to stay so far away from flex culture and always show a level of empathy, always be humble, and always be respectful, extremely respectful and polite when you're talking about somebody's home. And those are the things that I would do if I was starting my real estate career in 2024. Now, if you liked this video, check out my other one over here. And if you'd like to book a one-on-one consultation with me, there will be a link somewhere down in the caption. And if there's anything else that you want me to discuss on here, please just leave it in the comments. And I hope that you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.